I can only imagine the amount of people out there that are air guitaring to the Student of the Gun intro theme. I know I do it in the studio each and every week. Now, Jared, we often forget that we have new listeners each and every week, and they don't necessarily know who provides the Student of the Gun theme music.
Well, that would be Madison Rising.
That's right.
And if you can go check them out at madisonrising.com. Most of you have probably heard of them by now because of the whole NASCAR thing when the left went crazy because they didn't like the hard-rocking Madison Rising national anthem.
Yeah, if you don't like, I mean, I can see, having personal preferences. For instance, some people like, you know what you need in there? A coaster. You need a coaster for your coffee cup.
Oh, you can hear the clink?
Yeah, I can hear you when you set your coffee cup down. Oh, I'll give you $1 and you can buy a coaster. But, yeah.
I'm going to go get one right now.
Oh, okay. Not everybody likes certain music. Some people like country music. Some people like, urban contemporary. Some people like jazz. Some people like rock and roll. But the Madison Rising version of the national anthem is not in any shape, manner, or form disrespectful. As a matter of fact, it's the exact opposite. It's extremely respectful to the song. And the people that got on social media and bitched about it, you need to get a life. You need to put a new tampon in your vagine. Can I say that on the public thing?
Well, you just did. So.
Or you need to change your tampon and quit and find something real to complain about. Because that was a bunch of bull crap. But if you are a student of gun, if you're a patriot, go over to madisonrising.com and check them out. And they actually, Jared, Madison Rising, they just did they posted a question on Facebook. And the reason I know this is because one of our fans, they tagged us in their answer. It was, how did you hear about Madison Rising? And one of our fans put in there, Paul Markle at Student of the Gun is how I heard about Madison Rising. So if you are a student of the gun, and in addition to that, you like Madison Rising music, and you're willing to do the Facebooky thing, check them out. Go over there, and I don't know if that thread is still open or not. I don't have it open on my computer, but what the heck? Let them know that you heard about them via us. They're our buddies. We believe in what they do. They believe in what we do.
Yeah, and they actually updated their website. I just looked at it for the first time in a couple weeks or something like that, maybe a month or so. They actually have a contact page on there. If you want to let them know and thank them for bringing their music to us, to you guys, through us, you can email them at that's FAN, at madisonrising.com.
Yeah, and we don't just use the Madison Rising music for the radio show. We also use it for the TV show. And if you're not watching the TV show, shame on you. I don't even know what to say to you. But recently someone was like, well, I can't get your show. Yeah, you can. Right, Jared?
If you're messaging me, yes, you can.
If you're sending Jared an email or a Facebook message and you say, I can't find your show, Jared, Jared, tell them real quick how they could actually find the show.
Well, the gateway is studentofthegun.com. That's the gateway for everything, training, radio, TV, homeroom stuff, blog, everything. And then we have a mobile gateway as well, the Student of the Gun mobile app, and that's available. We just had the update go through on Android devices, and it's still processing on iTunes, I believe. I don't know if it's through yet or not, but you can get that on the Apple iTunes store or on the Android store.
Well, yeah, maybe the Apple people, all you Apple iTuners out there, let us know. Go to, if you haven't checked your mobile app lately, shame on you, but take a moment and check out the Apple version of the mobile app, Student of the Gun mobile app, and let us know whether or not it did currently update, because it doesn't do it immediately. It takes a little bit of time. All right, let's talk about firearms-related stuff. That is kind of become our new trend or tradition in hour 2 of Student of the Gun, to talk about firearms-related, hardware-related stuff. And generally, it's just whatever is going on in the Student of the Gun world, whatever is going on in my world. And this week's show note is M1 carbine. I've been wanting, or I had been wanting to purchase an M1 carbine for years, decades even. Now, when I was 18, 19 years old, even actually before I was even legal age to buy a gun, I would go into gun shops and browse around and look. And, as soon as I got my driver's license, I would drive to the gun shop, and I would go in and I would talk to the guys, and I would look around. And, I couldn't buy anything because I wasn't 18 yet. But back in the late 70s, early 80s, you could get war surplus M1 carbines and M1 Garands and 1911 pistols and so, for really good prices, ridiculously good prices. Some of you guys today, if I tell you that you, in 1983, you could walk into any gun shop in the nation and pick up an M1 carbine for $99, you probably cry. But you could. I had a friend of mine, I never actually saw this, but he said that he used to go in and they would take wooden barrels and put them out on the show floor and just fill the wooden barrels up full of M1 carbines. They were that prevalent. Well, those days are over, obviously. And unfortunately, the M1 carbine, and that's the 30 caliber carbine cartridge that it fires, if you're not familiar, those they've kind of all become collector's items, wall hangers. People are looking for Winchesters or, Remingtons and Singer sewing machine or Rockola or whatever, all these rare models of carbines, IBM. And they're not shooters, they're wall hangers. I went, there's actually a gun shop about an hour and a half away from here, maybe an hour. And I went in there and I was browsing around and I saw back on the rack he had carbines, wooden stock, blue steel carbines. And I asked him, I said, hey, I see you got a bunch of carbines. And he had like 6 of them. He was like, oh, yeah, I do. They ranged anywhere, Jared. An M1 carbine, you weren't with me. They ranged somewhere starting around $1,300 up to $1,500, depending on the model. Yeah.
Wow.
So I basically put it out of my mind. I'm like, well, I'm not paying $1,000 for, a gun that was actually manufactured for $70. I'm not looking for sentimental value. $70 is just a figure I pulled out of my rectum. It probably was less than that back in the 40s. But I basically had decided, well, I'm not spending $1,000 for a shooter. I don't want to hang it on a wall. I want to actually go out and shoot it. Well, I found if you slick guys out there, you know that there was the original mil-spec carbines, and then another company called Universal made a copy. And it wasn't an exact copy. It was a very, very, very close copy, but not exact. And they were the Universal carbines. And they functioned the same way, took the same magazines and everything. But the controls were just a little bit different. And actually the floor plate was a bit different. And you couldn't switch stocks from one to the other. Well, I found one at a gun show for right around $200. And it was rough. It had obviously been sitting in a closet or a gun safe. It had rust pitting on the heat shield. It had looked like somebody tried to re-blue it, so the finish looked different, So here's what I'm going to do. I've got the gun. I've taken it out. It shoots. It functions just fine, but it looks ugly. All the metal furniture on it, the barrel, the heat shield, the metal butt plate, they all have, they're in various, I guess, states of decay from rust or from just having the finish worn off. So here's what we're going to do this week. And Jared doesn't even know this, but I'm going to strip that thing down completely, all the way down to just pieces, parts. I'm going to take the Duracoat True Strip and get all the grease and Hoppe's number 9 and everything off it, get it down to just, metal. And I'm going to Duracoat that sucker.
You mean you can't just Duracoat over rust or something?
Well, you can Duracoat over rust. You can. Here's the best way to do it. You can't Duracoat over Rem Oil or Hoppe's number 9 or COP. Well, you can do anything you want.
So
you're an American.
So
it's not recommended.
So don't frog lube it before you Duracoat it. You frog lube it after.
yeah. Don't put a heavy dose of frog lube on it and then spray Duracoat on it, because it needs to stick to the bare metal, the bare wood, the bare aluminum, plastic, whatever. So we're going to do that. And I asked Zach. It's got a wooden stock, and right now it's got kind of that Parkerized black blue, looking finish on it. And I asked Zachary. I said, Zach, if I was to, change the color on all the metal parts, what do you think would look cool dropped back into this wooden stock? And you know what Zach said, Jared? Not something crazy. He said green. He wants it to be like a Magpul green or an olive drab green or something like that. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and paint all the metal components green and then put them back in that wooden stock. And we'll take pictures of it and we'll put it up for you guys and let you know how it got finished. So that is our Firearms Talk moment. And, we bring that up because, number one, I think the M1 carbine is really, it's been eclipsed. I know it has. It's been eclipsed over the last 10, 15, 20 years by 223 carbines because, quite frankly, why in the name of all that's holy would you go and spend, $1,300, $1,400 for a gun that was made in 1943, but it has the word Winchester stamped in it, and it shoots a .30 carbine cartridge, unless you just wanted to hang it on the wall or use it as a collector's item or break it out at barbecues and show your buddies. If you want something that actually shoots, it doesn't make any sense. But the carbine, it's a light gun. I mean, that's why it was built. It was built to be light and handy. It's not a main battle rifle. It's the, if you go back in the history, they were thinking, we want something that's easier to shoot and a little bit more powerful than a handgun, but not necessarily as heavy, bulky, or cumbersome as a 1903 Springfield or an M1 Garand. So they came up with a carbine. And it does a really good job. If you go back and you look at black and white photos from the race riots of the 60s, you'll see a lot of guys holding carbines.
How do race cars riot? I don't get it.
Race cars?
You said race riots.
Oh.
Or they riot over the race cars.
Yeah, they do that. It's the whole the whole NASCAR Madison Rising thing. They were having a race car riot.
Oh, so they rioted over the fact that a rock band played the national anthem in a NASCAR. I get it now.
Well, in addition to getting it, Jared, shut up. All right.
You can't blame me. I went to public school in the last 20 years.
You did go to public school in the last 20 years, and you didn't learn anything. All right. Let's not forget to support the people that support us. Well, that's a good thing, right? And we want to thank our buddy Dr. Dan Olesnicki from SWAT Fuel. He got on his plane and he flew back home, and we wish him well. But because did we talk about the SWAT Fuel package? Yeah, we did.
Yeah, the Get Fit in 2015.
The Get Fit in 2015 SWAT Fuel package. You're going to be giving that away. If you go to SWATfuel.com, make sure that you're using the promo code SOTG2014 to get 20% off. And don't forget about our buddies at Brownells, Colt, and, of course, Velocity Triggers, the newest sponsor to Student of the Gun. Check them out at velocitytriggers.com. Now, the next sponsor also sponsors a Good Guy of the Week question. Jared's going to read the question, and he's going to tell us who our Good Guy of the Week is and what is their question.
Oh, I was waiting for Jared to come read the question because our Student of the Week this week, his name is Jared, and he's a dot chaser, according to him. Jared, I need you to send me your address, shirt size, phone number, and if you can include your email address in there, email that to me. That's JARRAD at studentofthegun.com. And Jared posted his question to the forums, and he says, I realized recently that I have trouble keeping tight groups on paper because as soon as I shoot a flyer, I end up chasing my hits around the paper trying to tighten the group again. And he says, since shooting steel isn't always an option, how would you recommend I work on this when shooting paper?
All right, focus, focus, focus.
You know, we have a solution for Jared.
What, the wall drill?
Well, if he, I don't know if he's subscribe to the Student of the Gun newsletter or not. But if you're not, Jared, go to studentofthegun.com and subscribe to the newsletter. And some of the free videos that we give you, some of the free training videos, focus on focus. They tell you how to fix this problem that you're having.
Actually, that is it, we did a. Thank you for reminding of that. We did a video about consistency.
It's funny because we've done so much stuff that you kind of forget.
Yeah, what were we doing yesterday? Somebody asked me, they're like, "Did you?" And I actually
hold on, let me go search the website.
I have to remember.
I hope I put the keywords in.
All the stuff that I did.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I'll let him finish the question.
No, actually, you're running into the big problem there is it's focus or distraction. And that happens to everybody because everybody wants to shoot tight groups. Everybody wants to make really small, impressive groups so their friends will pat them on the back and think they're, cool. But what happens is because we're so consumed by that we end up, instead of focusing on the fundamentals of marksmanship, we focus on looking at our target. We focus on the results before the application. Well, you can't get the results until you apply yourself properly. And so focus on the application first, and the results will be there. Ooh, I just dropped that on you. But on a serious note, when you hold that, whether it's a rifle, pistol, whatever, if it has a rifled bore and you want to shoot one shot at a time, point it out there, hold it up, and when you shoulder or hold out the pistol, you need to focus on whatever sight mechanism is there. If you have iron sights, that's cool. Standard iron blacked out sights, focus on the front sight. Now you guys know, I guess maybe you don't, because according to some of the ads I've seen, not everybody in America that owns a gun knows you're supposed to look at the front sight, not the rear one. Because they make these rear sights that have all kinds of color schemes and dots and craziness on them. And I always ask them, I'm like, you do know that the shooter's supposed to focus on the front sight, right? So putting all kinds of color and light and all that jazz in the rear sight is kind of detrimental to good marksmanship. But I digress. My point is this. If you're using a handgun, point it at the target, focus on the front sight. And I want you to focus on it to the point that if it has ridges, if it has a little scratch on it, if it's ramped, if it's whatever, that you can see all of the detail in your front sight. And then while you're doing that, take your little, booger hook and start pressing the trigger to the rear. But focus on the front sight. And if you're really having dot chasing problems, I want you to try and surprise yourself. You're like, I know the gun's going to go off, Paul. It's not going to be a surprise. Yeah, I got that. Focus on the front sight and you can even do the mantra. The mantra is in your head. You're going front sight, 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 front sight. Whoa, the gun went off. And I guarantee you, if you did that correctly, that the bullet went exactly where the front sight was held, because that's how they work. Now, let's say you have a double-action pistol, and you're having a hard time, getting consistency out of a double-action pistol. Should I give him this little nugget, or should I charge him for it?
I think you should just go ahead and give it to him.
All right. Usually I charge people for this advice, but I'll give it to you guys for free because I like you. Especially if you're using a long double-action press, like on a Beretta, an M9 or 92 Beretta, a SIG pistol, regardless. Point it out, focus at the front sight, and then I want you to imagine that you're using the trigger to pull the front sight directly back toward your eyeball. Imagine that your front sight is on a track, on a straight track, and you're using the trigger to pull the front sight back toward your eyeball. Imagine that they're linked together, and focus on that. Think, okay, I'm going to press this front sight. I'm going to pull it all the way back to my eye. If you do that, guess what? You're going to teach yourself good double-action trigger manipulation. You'd be amazed what a little bit of mental effort will do for you. And the truth of the matter is when it comes to shooting, really good shooting, consistent shooting is 99% mental and 10% physical. I can show anyone how to hold the gun. I can show them how to manipulate the controls. I can show them how to press the trigger. I can, all that stuff. I can show you that, but what I can't do is I can't get inside of your brain and force you to do it right over and over and over and over again. If you're looking for drills, go ahead and download the Student of the Gun mobile app on your iPhone or your mobile phone, and I'm not sure which tab it is. What does the tab say? Oh, free ports.
Yeah, because free
Tell
reports
them about that.
I put in free reports, and it was too long. I think it put in free rep and then ... So I just put free ports, and it fit. So you guys get some free ports.
So the free port that's on the mobile app, if you tap that, it brings up the one-box workout. And it breaks the one-box workout down for you completely. And you can do that at the range.
Now, if you want the video and the PDF file of the one-box workout in addition to, 8 other free pieces of training content, go to sotgu.com and put in your name and your email address, and you'll get those. I think it's over a 4-day period. You'll get each and every one. I think the first email is the one-box workout in the PDF format where you can download it, and also a video format where you can download it.
Wow, you do a lot of good stuff for these people, Jared. I hope they appreciate it.
Or you don't even have to download it. You could stream the video.
Stream it!
So you don't have to take up any space on. Although nowadays space is easy to come by. I think I was looking at the new iPhones, and they come with, one of them comes with 128 gigabytes of a phone.
A 128 gig?
Yeah, of memory in a phone.
That's crazy, folks. It's insane. We're so spoiled. All right, let's get into the meat of the episode, the title of the episode, Silent Hunting. It's a good thing. Imagine for a moment that what's her face, the cooking chick, Martha Stewart.
Oh, I thought you were going to say the Mom's Demand.
No, the cooking lady,
yeah, that's
Martha
right.
Stewart.
I thought you were talking about the sandwich lady.
No, it's silent hunting. It's a good thing, and it is a good thing, actually. If you have never hunted with a firearm that has a suppressor attached to it, you really don't know what you're missing. And this story actually was sourced to us by gunsandammo.com. Thank you very much for that, gunsandammo.com. And the title is Florida Aims to Lift Ban on Hunting with Suppressors. And when I pulled this up, it says, and on Friday, November 21st, 2014, the Florida Fish and Wildlife Commission voted to remove the ban on using suppressors in Florida for hunting. Now, you've always been able, not always, but for a long time, you've been able to own suppressors in Florida. But the proposed amendment, which was 68A-12.002, General Methods of Taking Game Prohibitions, would remove the specific hunting or the hunting-specific suppressor prohibitions, yada, 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 yada. And for those of you who are not enlightened, let me tell you what. First of all, a rifle with a suppressor or a silencer on it, and either one of them is correct verbiage, or a moderator if you're from merry old England. I don't think they can own those in merry old England. If you're from Europe, if you're from the continent, you can call them a moderator. But it doesn't silence the shot to the point where you can't hear the bullet going. Well, unless you're shooting subsonic ammo. Okay, that's the caveat. But your normal guns, let's say .223, .308, what have you. Let's just stick with the .22 and the .308. So you've got a .308 caliber rifle, .308 Winchester. You put a suppressor or silencer on that gun. The bullet's going to go supersonic. You guys understand that, right? Faster than the speed of sound. What happens when an object breaks the speed of sound? Jared, what happens when an object breaks the speed of sound?
It makes a loud crack.
It makes a distinctive cracking noise. Crack. Even that little .22, that little tiny bullet that you shoot out of your .22 long rifle is breaking the speed of sound. So you don't get a bunch of gunpowder noise from a .22. There's very little gunpowder noise at all. But what you do get when you're shooting a .22 rifle, that crack, 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 that is the bullet breaking the speed of sound. Wow. Well, you're always going to get that. And so it's not like, shooting a crossbow or compound bow or something like that where it just whoosh. You're going to hear something. But what you don't get is that ear-crushing explosion noise. That's what you don't get. And so you can legitimately hunt. There are many companies, well, pretty much every company out there right now that's manufacturing suppressors and silencers makes what they call hearing-safe rifle suppressors, which means that you can legitimately fire your guns without closing, covering your ears, plugging your ears, what have you. That is a big deal. Because let's face it, a lot of you rockheads out there, a lot of you knuckleheads, go to the field with unprotected ears. You sit there and you wait for the game, and then you shoot your 7mm, Remington Magnum rifle, or your .308, or your 30-30, 30-06, what have you, your shotgun. You shoot them, and you tell yourself, well, it's just one shot. It's not going to hurt my ears. Actually, it is hurting your ears. Now, one shot is probably not going to make you deaf. But if you talk to an audiologist or a doctor of audiology, they will tell you that every time your ears ring, you're experiencing hearing damage. Take it from Professor Paul, who has damaged ears, because nobody taught me when I was young, hey, dude, put something in your ears. Cover your ears. I fired probably in the neighborhood of, several thousand rounds of .22. Several thousand rounds of .22 I fired without hearing protection because nobody told me. Back in the old days, you had all these deaf old guys that were like, your ears, get used to it. Or everybody goes deaf when they get old. No, everybody doesn't go deaf when they get old. If you protect your ears, then you don't go deaf. Now, and we've talked about this before on the show, how it's kind of weird upside down, how in Europe, on the continent, it's like an act of Congress to get a gun, right? You got to go through the licensing and the fees and interviews and all that stuff to get a gun. But once you've got one, you can walk into any gun shop or hardware store or whatever and buy a moderator for it and slap it on the front of your rifle and drive on. As a matter of fact, many countries will not allow you to hunt or shoot outdoors without a suppressor or a moderator on your gun, a muffler on your gun. And why is that? Well, because they figured out a long time ago that the noise associated with gunfire is just a byproduct. That big boom doesn't make the bullet travel any faster. It doesn't make the bullet hit any harder. The noise doesn't make the gun more accurate. All it is an annoying byproduct of a cartridge igniting. Do we need the noise? No, we don't need the noise. So why do we keep producing the noise? And here in America, we've allowed ourselves to be reasonable to the point where we've handicapped each other. Now, that's starting to slowly turn around as the states have figured out, you know what? We've got a lot of anti-hunting, crybaby puke faces in America. So maybe if the hunters don't make as much noise in the field, then we'll have a little less complaints from the anti-hunting, crybaby puke faces. Or maybe we can help people preserve their hearing. Now, how many of you guys out there in the audience are hunters? And how many of you like to be solitary hunters, where you go out by yourself or maybe with your child or your spouse or whatever? How many people actually hunt with their spouses? Okay, 2 guys raise their hand. It's not easy to hunt with your spouse. But you get up in your stand or in your blind or you're stalking, and everything's quiet, everything's pristine. And what happens? Run, deer!
Yeah, was it Bill Engvall?
Yeah. Run, deer! That's the first time I pushed a woman out of a tree stand. No, you could be like my wife, and you could either did she tell the story about falling asleep?
No, but she told stories on you, so you could tell stories on her.
Oh, about falling asleep when she was hunting? Yeah, she took Jared out to hunt. No, you told that story with Dan, didn't you? Oh,
I told it to Dan.
told it to Dan on the radio?
No.
Oh, you didn't. We didn't do it on the radio. You just told him. Oh, okay. I was thinking we did it on the radio. Yeah, I was off working somewhere doing a job, and Jared wanted to go hunting, and he was like 13 or 14 at the time. And so Nancy says, "Oh, I'll take him out. I'll take him hunting." I'm like, "Okay, well, great." I don't remember where I was. So after a couple of days, I said, "Well, how did that hunting trip go?" And Jared's like, "Well, okay, we didn't get anything." And Nancy took Jared out, and she sat down, and she proceeded to lean up against a tree and fall asleep. Yeah, and the first time that I took Mrs. Markle out to deer hunt, I took her out, and I found a spot where a cornfield and a soybean field kind of made it up. I'm like, okay, I've seen deer in these fields previously. You sit right here, and I'm going to go around on the other side of the woods about 100 yards away or so, a little farther, and I'm going to sit over there. You sit here, and, good luck, happy hunting. So I hear a kaboom, and I was like, oh, is that? Hang on, listen again. And then I hear another kaboom. So I wait, and I watch my field to see if anything runs through my field, and nothing. I sat there for 3 hours. Not one stinking animal walked in front of me. So it was getting towards lunchtime. You know how that is when you're hunting. The deer are going to lay down. They're not moving anymore. So, okay. So I get up, walk over to where Mrs. Markle is, and I said, "Did you see anything?" "Yeah." "Okay. What did you see?" "A bunch of deer came out." "All right." She goes, I said, "With does, bucks, whatever?" She goes, "Yeah, both." I'm like, "And?" She goes, "Well, I was really amazed, and I was just watching them." "And?" She goes, "You know that book you have?" And I had it was called the Ethical Hunter or something like that. And it has a really nice buck looking at the camera with a big rack. And she goes, "You know that book you have with the deer on the cover of it?" "Uh-huh." She goes, "There was one like that." Oh my God. I said, "Well, how far away was it?" She goes, and she points. She goes, "It was about standing right over there." So in my mind, I figured, all right, it was 45 to 50 yards away from her. She goes, "It stood there, and it was just kind of looking over where I was." She goes, and I thought, "Oh, I should shoot it. I should shoot it." And I could hear you saying, "You need to shoot that." And then it turned around. And I thought, "Oh, I can't shoot it I can't shoot it in the back. I can't shoot it from behind." And then it ran away. So that was the first and last time I think I took Mrs. Markle hunting. But anyway, my point is this. So you're out in the woods, and you're doing your solitary stalk, and you know where you want to be, you know where the game usually are, and you're just about there, and you hear, boom, crash, and it just breaks your chi, and things run around, and you're like, or you're in your stand, and some guy walks by, and he goes 55 yards or 100, and boom, boom, boom. And it just ruins it for you. Well, folks, if we would all just nut up and start, well, first of all, if our federal government didn't penalize us for trying to produce less noise, that's another topic for another time. Hunting with suppressors, the first place I ever hunted with a suppressor, Jared, you know where it was, don't you? Can you guess?
California.
No, retard.
Out at Bill's Ranch.
Mm-hmm. Yep, the first person that ever allowed me to hunt with a suppressed rifle, I hunted up at my friend Bill's Ranch up in northeast Texas, and we hunted hogs. And that was actually the year before that Texas, you could hunt varmints and predators with suppressors, but not big game or harvestable game or whatever, protected game. You couldn't. Now you can. You can hunt everything. And it makes such a difference. You don't have half a dozen hunters just crushing each other with gunfire. Yeah, you can hear the noise. But I tell you what, Jared, I've noticed this. I've actually, shot an animal. The animal goes down. I stay put, don't move. And if there's any other animals around, whether they're deer, hogs, or they run away because they're startled by what happened. but they're startled versus, I guess you could say they're more startled than they are scared, because I've had them actually. You get, you know, guys, if you've ever hunted, you get in a blind, you shoot something, and you stay put, you don't move, and you stay there long enough, and they come back. The animals have come back. I've shot hogs, put a hog down, they're startled and they run away, and then you sit there 15, 20, 30 minutes, they come back. Same thing with white-tailed deer, they come back. And if you're shooting predators or varmints, groundhogs, what have you, it does disturb the game to a certain extent, because they hear something and it's weird and it startles them, but it doesn't scare them to the point where they're going to run 5 miles away. You can also hear the bullets impacting in the animals. First time I ever hunted suppressed, I pressed the trigger, I heard the twhack, and I heard that sloppy whop as the bullet hit the hog. And so I knew immediately it was a good shot. I knew, boom, that thing was going down because the bullet hit it, and I could hear it hitting the flesh. And if you've never hunted suppressed, you probably have never heard your bullet impact into the animal. So it's a good thing. We applaud Florida for doing this. And if you go to what is AAC's educational website? I think it's AAC.
I think it's Can You.
Okay, yeah. You say, well, where am I allowed to do this? Where am I not allowed? And so forth. If you go to the website AAC, that's Alpha Alpha Charlie, Charlie Alpha November Uniform. So think of it like this: AAC Can You. It's short for Can University. Go there, and it's an educational website that Advanced Armament Corporation actually put up. It's a cool deal. If you have 15 minutes, you should do it, because they have a complete educational program about the history of silencers, the legality of silencers, how you can go about legally purchasing and owning one, where you can own them, where you can hunt with them, and so forth. It's a great resource for you guys. So check that out if you have the opportunity. And you have the opportunity.
So that's Alpha Alpha Charlie Charlie Alpha November Uniform.com.
.com. All right, good news coming out of Florida, and we hope that a lot of you Florida hunters are going to take advantage of that very, very soon. And if it looks like, I hate to even say this, Jared, because I'm afraid if I say it that I'll jinx it, but the ATF, it looks like they've untangled. How you like that family-friendly lyric there?
Yeah.
They've untangled the mess that is the ATF online filing system. They started like a year or so ago. They were like, we're going to do online filing. And people started doing it, and it crashed the system. I'm like, that didn't work. Well, it looks like they're untangling the problem, because apparently as much money as the federal government sucks out of our economy every year, they don't have decent computers or record keeping, or I don't know.
Well, only when it's convenient they don't.
Yeah. Well, so anyway, it looks like the turnaround time for silencers and suppressors is actually going to improve, inshallah. All right, Jared, you want to talk about Fox News agreeing with us?
Yeah. I think it's pretty awesome that Fox News agrees with Student of the Gun.
Yeah. I don't know if they realized they were doing it, but they do. Last week we talked about, it was during the bonus hour, wasn't it, because I said bad words?
Yeah, it probably was.
Yeah, we talked about the science.
Such a stupid story.
It was, adult language was absolutely 100% required to deal with that story. But the scientist who landed not lunar, because that's a moon, but a deep space probe on a freaking comet like 300 million miles away or something like that, 300,000 or whatever, a long way, lands a deep space probe on a comet.
On a comet.
That was moving through space. And the
not
probe
a planet,
is moving.
a comet.
Yeah, on a freaking
moving.
comet. He does that, and they go out and do a press conference, and he's wearing this Hawaiian shirt with hot chicks holding guns. And rather than say, wow, good job, dude, all these feminist bullies like jump online and we talked about it. We dealt with it last week. Well, our show went up Monday morning, and then Monday, I don't know, was it Monday afternoon or whatever, on The Five? I think it's called The Five on Fox News.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're one of their guys, Greg Gutfeld. Is it Gutfeld or Gutfeld? I can't remember. It's G-U-T.
No idea.
Anyway, he commented on it, and here's his comment. Jared's going to go ahead and play it for you guys so you can hear what he said about it. And I just find it interesting that it's kind of like he should have been on Student of the Gun bonus hour so he could say.
It was Fox Live, so what I'm guessing is that he heard about the story on Student of the Gun radio, and then they immediately said, we have to do a live story about this right now.
We have to talk about this. That's right. That's right. We are trendsetters here at Student of the Gun. So whenever you're ready, go ahead and play that audio, brother, and I'll just shut my mouth and we'll listen to it.
Last week, some scientists landed a probe on a comet 300 million miles away. Big deal. Who cares? One of the scientists, Matt Taylor, wore a butt-ugly shirt featuring scantily clad women. The attire drew ire. One astrophysicist tweeted, "You think a shirt like this makes women feel welcome? I don't." A website called the apparel casual misogyny that stops women from entering science. It got much, much worse, so Taylor atoned on Friday. It's not pretty.
The shirt I wore this week, I made a big mistake and I've offended many people, and I'm very sorry about this.
Yeah, he cried. You bullies, feminist bullies, made him cry.
What are we from this?
Oh, my God. I'd vomit, but this is a family show. So a man lands a rocket on a comet, something no one else has ever done, and he's reduced to tears over a shirt. Thank you, Twitter, for turning the world into a bully chamber. It used to be one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. Now it's one angry tweet trumps an awesome feat. And so the absurdity of modern outrage has reached
he was Dr. Seuss ranting there. Maybe that's what I need. Maybe I need to be rhyming my insults.
He was even taking after you a little bit.
Yeah.
I'd vomit, but this is a family.
It's a family-friendly show. I would say there's so many things I want to say, but we don't want to lose our family-friendly rating. But thank you, Greg Gutfeld, for Fox News for agreeing with Student of the Gun, agreeing with Professor Paul. And if you guys did not hear this, a lot of you are just living your lives and you hadn't heard that. It's ridiculous. This guy. We can say the 10 words that will set you free. Someone says, "Oh, hey there, scientist. We know that you landed a deep space probe on a comet, but we don't like your shirt. It's misogyny. It doesn't make women feel welcome in science." Really? So you're telling me out there, somewhere in the world, there was a little 12-year-old girl, and they're like, "Susie, what do you want to be?" "I want to be a rocket scientist." "Oh, never mind. I saw that Mean Man shirt. Now I don't want to be a rocket scientist anymore." Are you freaking kidding me? That makes women not feel welcome in rocket science. Wow. Oh, my Lord. Folks, break out the Gorilla Tape. Jared, what are the 10 words when someone comes to you and they want to tell you about how you've offended them or hurt their feelings? What are the 10 words you can say to set yourself free?
You are an idiot, and I'm done talking to you.
That's right. The 10 words that will set you free.
What did Dano from Swatfield say? He had 4 words that he said to people.
Oh, life sucks, get a helmet.
Or maybe it's 5, yeah.
Life sucks, get a helmet.
Yeah.
That was his thing. So, life sucks, get a helmet, or you are an idiot, and I'm done talking to you. Woo! I don't even know what to say about that. All right, folks, where are we at, Jared, time-wise?
44, so let's go ahead and wrap it up.
All right, folks, thank you very much. We've got a whole bunch more stuff. Actually, we're gonna put some stuff into the bonus hour. Now, if you haven't been hip to the bonus hour has actually become part of the grad program. The grad program is a concept that we came up with to reward you guys, the super dedicated, no-kidding listeners of Student of the Gun. So in addition to your monthly subscription, you'll get the bonus hour, the big boy hour of Student of the Gun radio each and every week with lots of cool stuff that you cannot hear on, broadcast radio or regular radio. You're going to get that, but you're also going to get the monthly newsletter entitled The Tactical Tutor. It's going to be filled with essentially 3 decades worth of experience in gun-related matters, whether it's gun carrying matters or shooting matters or training matters or what have you. You're going to get that in the Tactical Tutor newsletter. It's going to be a digital newsletter. It's going to drop right into your inbox each and every month. Now, in addition to that, you will also get exclusive discounts on live training, exclusive discounts for live training, exclusive discounts for our online Student of the Gun University material, and we're generating more and more online Student of the Gun University material that you can download or direct stream right to your phone, your computer, your tablet, what have you. You can take it with you everywhere you go. You're also going to be entered into you're going to be entered automatically into the special giveaways and contests that we do. We want to reward you, the dedicated Student of the Gun listeners. You've gone that extra mile to be a dedicated listener to subscribe to the grad program. Okay, great. We appreciate that, and to show our appreciation, we're going to partner with some of our sponsors, and we're going to give you some good stuff. Now, last month, was it October? The flashlight, October flashlights?
Yeah, I think we did that.
Yeah, every week in October, we gave away a Blackhawk Legacy light. It's a $100 value. They're good lights. Well, we're partnering with Car Arms and Crossbreed Holsters to give you guys a concealed carry package like you're not going to believe. The grad program subscribers, if you are a grad program subscriber and you're active, we're going to announce the winner right before Christmas. Is that correct, Jared? Did we pick a date before Christmas yet? 24th, 23rd?
Wait, which one is this?
This is going to be the pistol thing.
Oh, yeah. Well, we're going to announce the SWAT Fuel thing on the 31st. So why don't we just do on whatever?
Well, it'll be for Christmas, so it'll be kind of like you won't have it by Christmas, but
you'll get it near. I mean, you'll be announced as the winner by Christmas. Why don't we just do it on whatever Monday before Christmas?
Okay.
The show before Christmas, we'll do it then.
How easy is that? That would just happen right there. See how things are. We have a little bit of spontaneity.
Spontaneity?
There you go. Spontaneous action here on Student of the Gun Radio, and you're welcome. Now, the pistol is going to be the CW9 with a Laser Max laser on it from Car Arms. 9mm pistol, thin, compact, good for concealed carry. And I talked to my buddy Trent over at Crossbreed Holsters, and I said, hey, dude, can you guys make a Super Tuck holster for that gun? And he said, yep, we sure can, so we're in. So how cool is that? You're going to get a concealed carry package with a car pistol and a Crossbreed Super Tuck holster just for being one lucky grad program member, just for being a dude or a dudette.
While I'm thinking about it, I've had a couple questions, and this is specifically addressing Sally's question about if you sign up for the bonus hour, which is now the grad program. If you sign up for the grad program, do you get all the material that we've previously sent out to the grad program subscribers? And the answer is no. When you subscribe, you get the material from that point forward, because it wouldn't be very fair for everybody else that jumped in at the beginning if you could jump in now and have saved, I don't know, all those months worth of payments. Yeah. So when you subscribe, you get it from that point forward.
Okay. Rock on. You can go to studentofthegun.com, and right over there on the right-hand side, there's a big button that says grad program. You can go to studentofthegunradio.com, where we keep all our show notes, and you can subscribe from there. Anything that says either bonus hour or grad program, just click it, sign up for it, and you'll be automatically entered. Now, Jared, are they still going to get the November newsletter?
No, the November newsletter was last week.
Okay, and so the December newsletter will
go
out.
If you're listening to this, I usually don't send out the bonus hour until a few hours after the first 2 hours go out. Mm-hmm. So if you're hearing this and you hurry up, you can go to studentofthegun.com
and
sign up for the grad program and still get the November issue of the Tactical Tutor.
All right, folks, don't forget to watch us on Roku, Apple TV, Chromecast, the Hunt channel, Dish Network channel 266 Monday nights, and download that mobile app. It doesn't cost you anything. Go ahead and do it, man.
Thanks to Century Arms.
Thanks to Century Arms. Thanks, our buddies. Now, remember, you're a beginner once, but you should indeed be a student for life.